So instead of trying to fight this to stay on the whole time, I'm just gonna take it off now. Classic fairy tales. I've had this book since I was a little wee little thing. And today we're going to be reading King Midas, which is on page 194. This was my favorite one from this book. So we have the pictures. I'm not going to be able to read this upside down, so. Ready? There once was a king named Midas who ruled a magical land of roses and sunshine. King Midas was rich beyond imagination, but he was also very selfish and foolish. King Midas liked to spend his days in the basement of his castle where he kept his gold. Every day he locked himself in the vault so he could count his money without anybody bothering him. There was nothing that Midas would rather do than count his riches. His gold made him feel important. He loved to surround himself with it. Each morning at the crack of dawn, King Midas headed straight to the vault. He stayed with his gold until he went to sleep at night. And even then, he dreamed of how to get more. King Midas had a beautiful daughter named Marigold. She was very different from her father. Marigold did not pay any attention to gold, and she was not at all selfish. Marigold liked to spend her days outdoors. Day after day, Marigold walked happily among the roses in the garden. It was her favorite place. She loved taking care of all the beautiful flowers and watering them so they would grow to be even taller than she was. There was nothing Marigold liked better than smelling the sweet scent of the roses and watching the pretty butterflies as they flew about. One morning, Marigold said to her father before he went to his vault, "Why don't you join me in the garden today? Come outside to see what a lovely place I've created in the sunshine." "Oh no, Marigold," King Midas replied. "I would never enjoy that knowing there's so much gold to count. I really must go down to the vault right away." King Midas disappeared down the long, winding staircase that led to the basement. This saddened Marigold. She was certain that her father would really enjoy her flowers, especially the roses, if he ever saw them. All her pretty flowers and the butterflies. Later that day, as Midas was busy counting his gold. In the vault, a mysterious stranger appeared. "How did you get in here?" asked King Midas, looking at the locked door. "Well," said the stranger, "I have some magical powers." "My, you certainly have a lot of gold." The stranger gazed around the room at the many stacks and bags of gold. "Yes," said Midas, "but I could always use more. I like to count a new stack every day." "I could give you the power to turn all that you touch into gold," said the stranger. "Would you like that?" Greedy Midas could not believe his ears. Yes, of course I would," Midas excitedly said to the mysterious stranger. "I would like that very much." "Very well," said the stranger. "After the next sunrise, anything you touch will turn to gold." Midas looked around the room with a wide smile. Soon he would have even more money to count. When he looked back at the stranger, he was gone. He had disappeared from the room as mysteriously as he had arrived. King Midas looks like a child in this photo. That's all I have to say about that. And look, there he is in the garden. The golden rose, because he touched it. King Midas spent that night wide awake, staring through a window into the castle. He could hardly wait for the sun to rise. When the dawn's light finally appeared, Midas reached to push away the curtain, and it turned into solid gold. Then Midas grabbed his chair, and it turned to gold too. Midas grew very excited with his new magical power. He ran from room to room, touching everything he could reach: tables, mirrors, candlesticks, paintings, and doors. Just like the mysterious stranger had promised, everything turned to gold. "I have the magical touch of gold," shouted King Midas. "I will be the richest man on earth. No one will ever have as much gold as me." Then King Midas rushed from his castle and into the morning sunshine. He ran directly into Marigold's garden. He knew that was his daughter's favorite place. Midas saw many beautiful flowers. He laid hands on one of the loveliest roses, and it turned from scarlet red to gold. "How delighted Marigold will be," Midas said to himself, "when she finds I've turned all her flowers into precious gold." I don't think that's going to go over well. Soon the king's stomach began to rumble. Changing things to gold had made him very hungry. Midas returned to the castle and sat down at his table. "Servant, bring me my breakfast," he ordered. Soon the servant brought plates piled high with the freshest fruit, the warmest bread, and the tastiest cheese. Normally, King Midas began eating breakfast with a yummy strawberry. Today he carefully chose the juiciest one. "Ah, look at this bright red strawberry," said King Midas as he reached toward the plate. Such a delicious beginning to an already wonderful day. But as soon as he touched it, the strawberry turned to gold. Midas was hungry, but he could not eat. King Midas grabbed a goblet of water and raised it to his lips, but the water turned to gold too. Midas became dizzy with thirst and hunger. He called to his servants, "Bring me something to eat. I'm so thirsty and hungry." But everything they brought him turned to gold when he touched it. Suddenly, Marigold came into the room holding a gold rose. She sat at the table with her father and began to cry. Look at that. Like I said, didn't go over very well. Look at all the gold stuff. It's kind of like that saying, be careful what you wish for. "Look at this poor rose," Marigold sobbed to her father. "It was the loveliest one in the garden. How could this have happened?" "I made it happen, Marigold," answered King Midas. "I know that the garden is your favorite place. I thought you would like to see your flowers turned into beautiful and valuable pieces of gold." "My roses are ruined," exclaimed Marigold. "They no longer smell sweet, they no longer feel like velvet, and they no longer make the butterflies dance. The roses might be gold, but they're no longer valuable to me. They are worthless." Like all fathers, King Midas hated to see his daughter unhappy. He wanted to make Marigold feel better, and without thinking, he rushed over to give her a comforting hug. As soon as King Midas touched her, Marigold turned into solid gold. King Midas was shocked at what he had done to Marigold. He quickly ran from the golden statue. He now knew his wish was to turn all that he touched to turn to gold had been He now knew his wish to turn all that he touched to gold had been a curse, not a blessing. If only he could turn back time, then he could get his beautiful daughter back. King Midas sat down on the floor. How could he have been so greedy? He picked up the golden rose that Marigold had dropped. He began to cry. Just then the mysterious stranger returned and asked, "Aren't you pleased with all of your gold?" "I was very foolish," King Midas answered. "I don't care about gold anymore. I just want Marigold again. Please save her, and you can have all my gold." "I do not want your gold, Midas. I just wanted to teach you a lesson. To get your daughter back, simply go to the river beyond the rose garden, dive into its waters, and bring back enough water to sprinkle over the things you've turned to gold. They will all return to normal." At once, King Midas called out to all the servants in the castle. "Gather every pail, bucket, bowl, and pitcher you can find," he shouted. "Then follow me to the river beyond the rose garden. I need your help to change Marigold and all the flowers back to normal." Without another word, Midas and the servants ran to the river's edge. So sad. Look at him. He's smug. Smug lizard. Midas leaped into the cold, rushing water of the river, and it instantly began to turn golden yellow. He and his servants quickly filled their pails and their bowls before the water completely changed. King Midas ran straight to the dining hall and splashed water over every golden object, just like the mysterious stranger had told him to do. When Midas saw Marigold change from gold back to her normal self, his heart filled with joy. King Midas was very thankful to have his daughter back. Together he and Marigold went outside and changed all the gold flowers back to beautiful red roses. The mysterious stranger had taught Midas a valuable lesson. There are more important things in life than gold. From that day on, King Midas was happier than he had ever been before. He no longer spent his days locked away in a vault. Instead, he shared time with Marigold in the garden. Now Midas cared little for gold and riches. He saw the true beauty of flowers, butterflies, and his most valuable treasure, Marigold. The only gold that King Midas cared for now was the golden sunshine. The end. Lesson of that story. Be careful what you wish for. Money is not the most important thing on the world. So with that, I say thank you for listening / watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a great day and a great week, and I'll see you next time.